What's going on, everyone? It's your man Quantum here, back with another Iron Saga video today for you guys, and today we're going to be looking at Lamorak, or however you say his name. I'm just going to say Lamorak. You guys feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm saying it wrong, but today we're going to be looking at this guy, and I actually don't know too much about this mech. I just got it, so I'm kind of going to be along for the ride with you guys. So of course we're going to look at the overall stats of the mech, then we're going to do a 30-second DPS test. After that we'll do a survival test just to see how long it can last. And then afterwards, I'm just going to give some recommended parts, pilots, and just overall last tips for the mech. So getting straight into this mech has 6,760 HP, which is not bad. It has a decent amount of weight as well. It's the weight is 113, so that's good. It's over 100. That'll keep the mech from being so easily knocked over, so that's not bad. Size is 6.3 by 7.9. and then the velocity is 81. So although it is kind of heavy, it can still move, so that's not too bad either. As far as the chassis feature, it does have two pretty decent chassis features in my opinion. It has the night armor. It basically takes freeze, fire, EM. It says Bram, but I'm thinking that's just a typo for beam. And explosive damage, and it reduces that damage by 25%, so that's not bad. It helps it be a little bit more tanky. And then it also has chivalry, which when HP is lower than 50%, it removes all debuffs and increases attack by 50% for 10 seconds. So in my opinion, that's pretty good, because that's a pretty big damage bonus right there. That's going to be something really good for PvP right there. So looking at the weaponry, it only has about 4 weapons, and they're both identical weapons, and all of its weaponry is normal. So it has its 2 iron wrists, which is a fist melee quality 4 attack, and then it has 2 Gatling storms actually, which is a shotgun secondary armament. It's still more of like a secondary armament bullet type weapon, but it works really well with him. You'll find out why it works well in a second here. But moving on to the unique abilities, it does have swing hammer, melee arts, block L3, charge and toss, dash, unseizing toss. I like unseizing toss because it basically just throws them, like, I think it's about 3 times that it just picks up the enemy and slams the enemy back down. It's one of those melee attacks that, you know, kind of help control and contain your opponent and keep them from doing so much. It also has Big Will, and Big Will is actually pretty good because it's good for dealing damage while stopping your opponent. That's good because it kind of lets your other weapons, like the other abilities and stuff of this mech, cool down while that's happening. And it can also throw like lighter mechs and stuff, so I actually like Big Wheel. It basically just kind of spins the opponent around in a circle or a wheel. And then lastly, it has Night System. Now Night System is really good. It's a really good ability that a lot of the Empire industrial mechs, I think all of them have it, and it's a really good ability because basically every 21 seconds it just teleports around the enemy in, you know, different directions, north, south, east, west. This is really good because I know for Lamorak it uses his Gatling storm while it's teleporting, so it's a really good way to do damage and evade at the same time. So that's a really good ability that I do personally like. So yeah, that's about it for the stats. The stats are looking pretty good on this mech, honestly. We'll go ahead and get into the oops, looks like I switched to K, but we'll go ahead and get into the 30-second DPS test just to see how hard it's hitting. So for this one, we'll just kind of let him do as much damage as possible. We're not going to put open fire or anything on. We're just going to see how much DPS he can dish out by the 30-second mark. Right now, max is 2,176 actually. And it looks like his DPS is around the 650. It looks like it's around like the 630, 650 something mark. So that's actually not bad. What we'll do now is we'll go ahead and do the survivability test, and this right here is basically just to see how long he can survive before dying. So we're at 10 seconds and he's at about 60% health, about half health now. 16 seconds, but you can see that Night System right there, that evasion. So that's pretty cool. Looks like he's about to die though, so he's not too tanky. But then again, he's taking normal damage, so he survived for about 34 seconds. That's not very high, especially for an S rank. I've seen A classes, and of course triple S classes last longer than that. Of course he does have that knight armor, but it doesn't work for normal attacks. Seeing that tested against the normal test little mech, it's only normal damage that they take, so you can kind of see where his weakness lies by that. We'll go ahead and look into, I guess, recommended parts here. So let's go ahead and go to the Pedia, and I just like to kind of look through recommended parts. Of course you could use the balance core for purple parts. Of course purple parts are a little bit harder to get, but I would either probably go for damage or maybe, you know, just more durability and HP, because he did die pretty easily. I would definitely go for the large attack core. That's a good one. You could also go for like a teleportation core right here. That would help with the melee attack. I do like the large attack core because it helps with all attacks. This would only help with his melee attack, even though he has those secondary armaments. Those wouldn't get buffed, but the melee attack would get buffed. So I guess it kind of just depends. I would probably go for the high energy absorption, because this would be kind of the best of both worlds. Normal and explosive attack plus 30%, so all of his attacks will get that buff, and then on top of that it will absorb 20% of normal and explosive damage, which would also help him be a little bit more tanky. So this one would definitely be something I would recommend. You could also go for a high output beam. It would increase the melee attack by the most. Let's see, something else you could go for. You could go for the high intensity iron. That's always good. It would also help him take less melee damage, so that's definitely not bad. Yeah, you can kind of just put whatever you want on him and kind of build him either for, I would build him either for HP or, you know, just damage, you know what I'm saying? I guess for the A rank parts, yeah, you could go for like the cores, the enhanced core. You could definitely go for a negative energy beam if you want to reduce the opponent's attack, and that actually might be good because it would kind of be another way of helping him take less damage, since he kind of did die a little easier. You could go for an ordinary shell. It would increase a normal attack. Definitely. I usually don't go into support parts that much. You can kind of choose whatever you want as far as like support parts. I feel like people are going to choose whatever they want, but yeah, just mainly go for like double barrel attack cores, stuff like that. I would just kind of go for stuff like that. Energy absorption shell wouldn't be too bad either. As far as just like lastly, maybe the pilots, I would say maybe you could go for just any type of really melee pilot would do pretty good. I feel like you could definitely go for, of course you see here I don't have every pilot unlocked, but you could definitely go for, I was gonna say Sasaki, because she's really good. She's a really good melee pilot just in general, so you could go for her. You could definitely go for like 11. She would definitely be a good one. I can't find her right now, but you could go for 11. You could go for Matilda. I would definitely recommend pilots like that. Maybe Gwen Poulon as well. Just anybody who's really good with melee attacks, definitely. I would probably recommend either 11 or Sasaki, because they both have plus attack effects. They're just really good melee pilots. So anyways guys, that is my review for Lamorak. I feel like he's a pretty decent mech. Honestly, he's not too bad. With the right build, you can definitely do some damage with him. He looks pretty cool, and he does have that knight system, so that's always really good. So anyways guys, that'll pretty much be it for this video. If you guys have any suggestions, please definitely feel free to leave them in the comments below. Feel free to like if you enjoyed the video, if this helped you out. Feel free to dislike if it didn't. And of course, feel free to subscribe for more, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next one. Peace out.